The longest tenant we've ever had in place in a single property was 30 years. 30 years, think about that. That tenant, in essence, paid the entire mortgage for that landlord in a property, never moved, no turnover. That means over the course of 30 years, we handled 30 lease renewals just with that one tenant. Now we handle hundreds and hundreds of lease renewals every year, so I want to offer just a couple ideas for lease renewal tips, really, whether you're self-managing your property or you're working with a property manager. And tip number one is this: remember that turnover is your biggest expense. You do not want turnover. If you have a good tenant in place, you do not want that tenant to move. You need to do everything within your power to keep that tenant in place. Imagine my tenant a moment ago that I just spoke about that had a 30-year lease duration. Let's pretend we compare and contrast that to a tenant that maybe moved every 2 years. If a tenant moves every 2 years over a 30-year period, that's 15 turnovers you're going to have in your property, which probably means about, let's just assume it's 1 month of vacancy each time. That's 15 months of turnover, of vacancy, excuse me. That's over a year of vacancy you just incurred. How many times you're going to have to repaint that property, change the carpet out in that property, do a litany of repairs and cleaning. That is the reason that turnover is to be avoided whenever possible. Tip number two, treat your resident well during the lease term. You see, the turnover process should really start the first day the tenant signs the lease, because that's when you're communicating with the tenant. So you can't be difficult to work with as a property management company for 12 months and then suddenly expect your tenant to want to renew their lease. You need to have a great cordial relationship and be prompt in dealing with the tenant's requests throughout the duration of their lease. That way, when it comes to lease renewal time, of course they will want to stay. Did you know that national surveys show, year after year, the number one reason tenants give for not renewing a lease is poor quality maintenance. Poor quality maintenance. That means the tenants get so fed up with most landlords having poor service to their maintenance requests, they just decide to move. So handle maintenance in a very, very big way. Treat your resident well during the lease term. Number three, start early. We want to start our lease renewal process 90 days prior to the lease coming up for expiration. See, we don't want to be reactive in this. We want to be proactive. We want to reach out to the tenant before they even realize that their lease was coming up. Make a phone call, send them a letter, send them an email, go into sales mode to convince this tenant why it is in their best interest to stay before they've already thought about moving. So start that process very, very early. And number four is don't be afraid to increase the rent a little bit. So you ideally kind of want to train your residents to expect small but incremental rent increases. Why? Because I can just about promise you that over the course of the last 12 months, if you're a landlord, your property taxes went up, your insurance bill went up, your maintenance expenses went up. You need to have some type of rent increase built in just to stay even, just to cover your existing costs. Most tenants are not going to move over an appropriate rental rate increase. So don't be afraid of that. Now, you don't want to be exorbitant. You never want to lose a great tenant over a rent increase. So that can be a conversation you have with the tenant. But oftentimes we find that tenants are very, very workable to and understand rent increases are part of the business. If you've got questions on this, if you're working through your rent and your lease renewal process, we would be happy to provide some more information, hold your hand on this process, give us a call. I'm Mark Cunningham with Grace Management, and we'll see what we can do for you.